Today in Crypto Analysis, I'll be discussing more on this potential reversal that we've been seeing over the past weeks and how this looks in the bigger picture. I will also analyze some target prices for us to potentially take some profits in the long run. Furthermore, I'll be discussing something that I talked about in the last video, which is regarding channels and how they're actually behaving right now and what the potential near future might look like. Finally, I'll be talking about some huge news regarding potential institutional investors and how this could actually be the catalyst for us to see this much desired bull run. So, if you're curious about this, just chill and keep watching. Hello everyone, how is it going? Welcome back to my channel, and this is your host, the Cheeky Entrepreneur. So before I start this video, I want to thank everyone who's been supporting the channels and watching the videos, and I've heard your feedback. And I think I'm gonna be doing a new series. And basically, I'm gonna go through all the fundamentals and all the really basic things about technical analysis, from candles to patterns, to certain figures, to some of the indicators, and basically all that I know, so that you can actually really understand what I'm doing, because I attempted to do something similar in last video, and I think the videos are gonna get too long, and I really want to satisfy two different audiences, because there might be people who actually just want to hear the analysis, and there might be people who actually really want to learn. So I don't really want to mix those, because people can become confused. So what I will be doing is I'll be doing this separately. So without further ado, I'll continue on the analysis. And the first thing is that we were actually seeing this possible reversal. And if you remember from last video, I said that after breaking this 20 EMA, we would actually be seeing a test of that level. And not also only because of the 20 EMA, but also because it's a very strong support, or this 6.5K level became a really strong support. And that's very important, and that's actually what the price did over here. As you can see, it went up, it retested this price, and it went back up. So let's see how that looks in the smaller picture, in the hourly chart. So last video we were talking about these channels and how you can speculate with some of the lower lows and higher lows, and you can basically draw what a trend is looking like. And this was I think this was a very good channel. It is behaving really well. And something really important to take consideration is that we would have in the drawing this line from this two sides. So there was potential to actually profit in here and also in here. So what has been happening with the price lately? So whenever we had this small bull run, uh, we retested this 50 EMA in here, and then actually there was another pump in here. And sometimes what you really want to do in order to uh, take potential profits or see where the price is going in the short term is that you can use this Fibonacci retracement tool. Very briefly, I'll be doing a video on this very soon. But very briefly, it's a really good tool that tells you important percentages levels. That's basically psychological, and people trade a lot. So the two most important levels are the 38.2% and the 61.8%. So basically, you will always see the price behaving or having resistances at those two levels. So for instance, in here, when we reach the top, you can actually see that around this area, around 38.2%, there was resistance, and the price wanted to actually bounce. Then in this candle, we actually broke everything. We went down, and we tested this 61.8%, which actually touched briefly, and it went back up. And then this was basically the bounce that we needed towards a new high. And right now we're currently in this channel. And again, you could potentially do the same for this. You go from the recent low to the latest high. Just draw that, and you'll see the levels in here. And again, here there was a resistance near this 38.2 level, which is an important level. And this is not like a tool that you must use for everything you do. I think it's a very important tool just to have a concept of where the price could actually go and where are some resistances that the people are looking for. But definitely, it's not the only thing that you should look for. So right now, something that I'm expecting two things. First of all, I think the price will be moving around this area for a while, just like in here, and I think the price might actually retest these levels once again. Maybe I don't think it will actually test the 6.5 again, but maybe it will go down towards this lower part of the channel and then keep continue going up. But something really important is what does this look like in the bigger picture if you heard from intro. So in the bigger picture we have this. Actually, this channel is very, very constrict, and I think we would actually break upside. If you see this downward channel, it was wider than the one that we're actually having. So I think, I mean, taking into perspective, what I did was just turning around this channel, the downward channels, just to have like an idea of where we could actually be seeing the price going. So if we still have this little little trend line that we drew before, and maybe having this line, which is basically this being the center line of the channel, then we can draw this line ahead. And again, I'll be doing videos on how to really create these channels and so on. But the point is that the price is gonna be, well, will probably move. It's a potential that might be moving through this channel all the way up. So there's important lines to take into consideration here. First of all, is this trend line that we drew before, that it was kind of like forming a wedge in there. But this was really important because it's a strong resistance. So something that we can expect the price is actually go up, test this level, and then maybe bounce off, or maybe breaking it. But in reality, the ultimate test is gonna be this line, which is a bearish line of the descending triangle. I mean, that's gonna be a big fight, and if the bulls break that line, this will definitely go way higher. Um, I can see three things from here, and this, of course, is merely speculation. But again, it's something that you have to adapt your analysis, and you have to see different circumstances how the price may react, and you have to adapt those circumstances as time goes on. So one of the things that I see is, for instance, is this kind of ascending wedge. An ascending wedge is basically when the price starts compressing like a triangle, but in a upwards momentum. So I mean, there's a reason why you might not think this might be a wedge, because this really didn't go all the way up, all the way down, and so on. So I'm hoping this might not be the case, but could potentially be an interpretation of the price. But basically, when you have this forming pattern, whenever you break, you are most likely to break for the bottom. And if you're in a descending wedge, which is the opposite, you're more likely to break um, for a price going up. So if this were to be true, this could actually go way down to test 6.5k or even to 6k. So who knows? That might be something that can happen with the price. Another thing that I was watching is that could be kind of interesting thing is that from previous videos I've highlighted this pattern, which is basically a shoulder, head, and shoulder pattern. And something that I would expect, well, maybe the price will do is if it reaches this level, but it can't break it because of this 50 daily EMA, the price might bounce down, might retest this 6.5k and then head back up. And if that's actually the case, we can almost have like a target price around here. So if this were to break around, let's say this area, this could actually be a really good movement for us to try and break this downtrend, and that would be really interesting to see. And lastly, something that I see the price could actually do, and I think this would be potentially the most probable thing to happen, is that the price will continue to go up, then it will bounce from here because it's a strong resistance. It might retest this 6.5k level, and then of course it will be going up to actually test and break or test and go down. And here's the reason why I think this might happen. First of all, from the last video, you'll know well, I talk about these channels and how to spot trends and so on. So basically, if this were to happen, we would have a higher high from this previous high, and we would have a higher low. So that could actually be a confirmation of the reversal on its own before actually going and test this level. Of course, until we break these lines, I don't think we can see Bitcoin going to anything like 11.5k or anything to like all-time highs. I don't think we're gonna be seeing that very soon if we don't break this line. So it's gonna take some time to break the line, but I think this is definitely a opportunity or something that could actually happen. And well, I'm just gonna talk about some potential take profits or target prices. So first of all, I would think this would be a very good place around this level. So for instance, we have the 50 daily EMA. So more or less around this level could be a good place to take some profits, and that's around 7.5 or 7K. And the reason is because I'm expecting some resistance here. So it's always good to take some profits when there's a lot of resistance ahead of you. And I do swing trading, and I also do daily trading on a smaller account. So yeah, I'll be looking for these levels before taking some profits out. And then I would actually wait until we test this line, because if this breaks, two things can happen. The first is that the price might actually go way up, breaking this line. For instance, we might see that and then break and maybe go to the 10K level. Or we might see something that's very usual for this to happen, is that we might see a break and we're gonna see a retest, and then we're actually gonna go and move forward, which I think that might those two possibilities are very strong possibilities. But in any case, just to finalize the crypto analysis, I'm gonna be talking about other potential take profit levels. So for instance, we have all the previous highs in here. We have the 10K line, which is a potential take profit scenario, the 11.5K, which is another important level, and I'm gonna be talking about why this 13K is very important. And something that I want also to bring up is that I've been doing research, and because I'm part of this community or crypto community, I like to see other videos and see what people think. And I've been recently watching this channel. It's called The Moon, and I'll link it at the end of the video. And I think this guy, it's very good analyzing. You can see that his technical analysis is very good, and it's very similar to what I see in the market. So I understand perfectly where he's going, and he's been discussing all this, and I've actually learned a lot from him. I've also included these two levels, the 20 and the 100 EMA, because I didn't use them before, but I now appreciate their importance. But another thing about this level is that if you see there is this triple bottom that we've been discussing about, and the potential take profit for that is if we go through this high, through the first high and all the way to the bottom. And then whenever the price breaks this line, we can see that potential scenario. So if we were to break in here, which we've talked about like at the end of July, if we break that line, we could actually be heading towards 13K. So that's another potential take profit scenario. And just bear in mind that yeah, this might happen. There's a good chance of this happening, but it might also not happen. Well, in any case, that's everything I wanted to talk for this crypto analysis. So now let's head to some very important news. So as you know, Coinbase is one of the most important brokers in terms of fiat to cryptocurrencies. And right now, if we look at this recent news, I think it was 2 days ago, but I wanted to discuss some really important things. Is Coinbase custody target institutional investors now officially open for business, and this is really important. And the reason is because right now there is a lot of retailer investors, for instance, me and people like you that are gonna be investing maybe savings, maybe money that they don't want. It really doesn't matter. The point is that it's not really a lot of money. I mean, maybe everyone in conjunction would actually be some millions, maybe a couple billions, let's say, but it's not really the entire market cap. And a lot of the people who really have money, they are not investing in cryptocurrencies because of so much fear of uncertainty and doubt regarding if it's safe, where can they go, and so on. And this is a very important news. I'm actually gonna go ahead. A major U.S. crypto exchange and wallet provider Coinbase has announced that its digital assets custodian solution for institutional investors is now launched. And as per today's, Coinbase has already been storing over 20 billion worth of client crypto over the past 6 years, but its new custody offering will notably be secured through an SEC compliant and FINRA member independent broker-dealer electronic transaction clearing. Today's launch means that the institutions from both the US and Europe can now store their crypto assets with Coinbase custody, which currently supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Coinbase says its plan to continue adding support for more assets as well as to open its service to Asian institutions by the end of the year. So here's one of the things that I think is really important. Also, Coinbase Index Fund open to large-scale U.S. resident accredited investors for investment between 250,000 and 20 million. So we've been talking about what this catalyst might be, and this could potentially be the catalyst for this new bull run. So basically, you are allowing institutional investors to put their money, and we're not really talking about people who can, who will put 10K, 100K. We're talking people that are gonna put at the very least millions. I think even opening an account in Coinbase uh, for this product is gonna be around 100K, and I mean the minimum invest is it's about millions. So again, this is what I actually think this bull run might happen this year, and the reason is because you're having all these investors going in, and we're talking about really huge investors, and once they get in, and if you've seen some of the past videos, in one of them I say like our big box setting up to take our money. And this is the reason because once these huge institutions go in, they control the market because they get at the lowest prices. So, for instance, uh, all these regarding the price analysis, basically the people who are in control are the people who bought when it was cheapest because they could afford more by paying less. So whenever the price goes up, they're gonna be the ones to take the shots, and if they want to take their profits, the price is gonna go down, and they're gonna be actually benefiting from everyone who put their money after. So these institutions are coming in right now, and there's a really good reason for that because we're actually at a really low price. So and also something that you need to take into consideration is that basically the herd or these mass adoption will come after the institutional investors. Why? Because they are the people who attract the money, and once they go in, people are going to say, okay, this is legit. Now it's time to go in. Even though that's not really the scenario, that time to go in might be right now, or even if it goes a little bit lower. And the reason is because you're getting a cheaper price. You are gonna be way beyond the people who invest later on, and you're gonna be profiting. And even though if it goes up and then comes down a little bit, you're gonna still be in profit, whether a lot of people are gonna start losing money at those points. So before I go, I didn't want to forget to tell you, stay smart, stay bold, and most important of all, stay cheeky. Thank you for watching the video, and see you in the next one.